Ever feel like technology is moving at the speed of light? Well, get this. What if we told you we found ways to measure things, like even faster than conventional electronics can handle?
Faster.
Yeah, using light itself. Buckle up, because we're diving into the mind-blowing world of ultra-fast measurement, where light isn't just, illumination, it's a measuring stick for the insanely fast. And joining us for this illuminating deep dive is, our expert in laser technology. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Yeah, it's not every day you get to talk about bending the rules of what we thought was even possible, to measure.
No, you said it. Our guide for this is with this fascinating article by William L. Weaver, and he literally wrote the book, or at least an important book, on ultrafast laser spectroscopy. So we're talking like cutting-edge stuff here. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to break down how scientists are using light to measure speeds and frequencies that honestly make even the fastest electronics look like they're stuck in slow motion.
It's a challenge for sure.
So let's set the stage. Imagine you're trying to record the sound of a hummingbird's wings, but your microphone can only pick up the deepest bass notes.
Okay.
You're missing the whole point, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's been like with traditional electronics.
It's a great analogy. We live in a digital world, right? Built on analog to digital converters, or ADCs.
Right.
They're the unsung heroes, really, translating real-world signals like sound or light into that digital language of ones and ises that our computers understand.
Right. But like you're saying, even the best ADCs have their limits.
Oh, absolutely.
They kind of hit a wall when things get crazy fast.
Exactly. Think about trying to measure the speed of air particles whipping around a supersonic jet.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking frequencies in the gigahertz range here.
Wow.
Billions of cycles per second. Even the fastest ADCs are going to miss a lot of information at those speeds.
Yeah, it's like trying to capture a bullet train on one of those old-timey flip books.
Right.
Just a blurry mess. So how do we break through that barrier? Our article talks about this technique called Planar Doppler Velocimetry, or PDV.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of intimidating, honestly.
It's simpler than it sounds, actually. Basically, we shine a laser onto those super fast particles. And just like that radar gun a traffic cop uses, the frequency of the reflected light changes based on how fast the particles are moving. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Do tell. Does it have something to do with this iodine trick mentioned in the article?
You got it. Now, instead of your standard radar gun, imagine we're using a super high-tech laser, a 532 nanometer laser to be precise. Now, this thing operates at a frequency of 564 terahertz. That's 564 with 12 zeros after it.
Whoa.
Measuring something oscillating that fast is like trying to count individual grains of sand in a sandstorm.
My head is spinning already. So how does the iodine come into play?
Well, iodine vapor has this unique property where it absorbs different frequencies of light to varying, degrees. Think of it like a high-tech prism, but instead of separating white light into a rainbow of colors, it separates the laser light based on how much each frequency gets absorbed.
Okay, so it's like a filter for light, but based on frequency instead of color.
Exactly. And this creates a unique fingerprint of frequencies in the reflected laser light. To analyze this fingerprint, researchers use a beam splitter to compare this altered light to a reference beam of the original laser light.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's all about the comparison, right?
Right.
Just like those ADCs we talked about. It's the difference between the sample signal, the light that interacted with the fast-moving particles, and the reference signal, the original laser beam that tells the story. Yeah. We're essentially using light to bypass the limitations of electronics.
You've got it.
That's so cool.
By analyzing how the frequencies have shifted between the two beams, researchers can precisely determine the speed and direction of those incredibly fast particles. It's like translating the language of light into a format we can understand.
Okay, so using light itself as the measurement tool.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But it's not just some laboratory curiosity, is it? This is used in the real world.
You're right. This technology has already made its way into our everyday lives, and we probably don't even realize it. Remember those Mach-Zehnder interferometers we mentioned earlier?
Vaguely. They were involved somehow, right?
They are. And while the name is a mouthful, these devices rely on the same principle of splitting and recombining light to analyze frequency changes, just like in PDV. And guess what?
Right.
They're the backbone of high-speed optical networks, enabling the lightning-fast data transfer that powers our connected world.
Wait, so every time we stream a movie or hop on a video call, we're benefiting from this light-speed revolution? That's wild.
Absolutely. And it doesn't stop at speed. These optical techniques are also incredibly precise. In fact, they're being used in everything from, high precision manufacturing to cutting edge medical imaging.
Wow, so we've gone from measuring the speed of air particles to revolutionizing telecommunications and healthcare. It seems like this is just the beginning. But before we go any further on that, let's take a quick pause and come back to explore more about the implications of these ultra-fast measurement techniques. Stay tuned. And we're back, exploring how light is being used to measure things faster than ever before. Before the break, we were talking about how this technology has gone from the lab to our living rooms, enabling things like high-speed internet and even like transforming healthcare.
It's incredible to think that something as fundamental as light could hold the key to unlocking such incredible, technological advancements.
Yeah.
It's not just about measuring speed, though. It's about the precision these techniques offer. We're talking about the ability to see things at the smallest scales, happening in, tiny, tiny fractions of a second.
It's like we've gone from using a magnifying glass to suddenly wielding a super-powered microscope that can see down to the atomic level and beyond, right? What's fascinating to me is how this journey began with trying to push the limits of electronics with those ADCs we talked about.
Right.
But instead of hitting a wall and giving up, researchers found a way around it. It's like a secret passageway into a whole new dimension of measurement.
Precisely. And that's what makes this field so exciting. It's like a testament to human ingenuity, really, and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. We hit a limit with electronics, so we turn to light. It makes you wonder, what other seemingly impossible barriers might we break through by thinking outside the box, or in this case, outside the realm of what we thought was measurable,
It really highlights how interconnected different fields of science and technology are.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that studying the aerodynamics of a jet would lead to breakthroughs in telecommunications and healthcare? It's like that saying, science is a web, not a ladder. What starts as a seemingly niche discovery in one area can have ripple effects that transform entire industries and even our daily lives.
Absolutely. And as we continue to explore the universe at, ever-increasing speeds and resolutions, that interconnectedness is only going to become more pronounced.
So where do we go from here? What are some of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in the world of ultra-fast measurement? It seems like we're constantly in this race to develop even faster and more precise measurement techniques.
You're right. It's like a technological arms race, but instead of building bigger bombs, we're building faster cameras, more sensitive detectors, and more powerful algorithms. One of the biggest challenges is simply keeping up with the pace of innovation. As we develop even faster and more precise measurement techniques, we need to constantly push the boundaries of materials, science, optics, and data processing to keep up.
It's like we're always trying to outrun our own ingenuity. But this isn't just about building faster gadgets for the sake of it, is it? There are real-world implications to all of this. Speaking of which, we have to talk more about DARPA's PATS-CT program and those terahertz speed ADCs they're developing.
Ah, yes, the PATS-CT program. Now that's where things get really interesting. If they're successful, those terahertz speed ADCs could truly be game changers. Imagine being able to process information at the speed of light, capturing events that happen in femtoseconds or even attoseconds. We could unlock entirely new realms of physics, develop revolutionary technologies, maybe even gain a whole new understanding of the fundamental forces that govern our universe.
Now you're speaking my language. But what does that actually look like? I mean, it's incredible to talk about measuring things at those speeds, but what could we actually do with that information? Give me the specifics.
Well, for starters, imagine the implications for fields like cosmology. With that level of speed and precision, we could potentially measure minute changes in gravitational waves, those ripples in space-time predicted by Einstein. Or how about detecting the faintest signals from the very early universe, giving us a glimpse into the first moments after the Big Bang?
It's mind-blowing to think that we could be on the verge of answering some of the biggest questions in cosmology, all thanks to our ability to measure things with incredible speed and accuracy. And to think, it all started with trying to see how fast air moves around a jet.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? It highlights the power of human curiosity and our drive to, understand the universe around us.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from the nitty-gritty of how light is being used to measure the unmeasurable to the potential of terahertz speed ADCs to revolutionize everything from telecommunications to our understanding of the universe. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take another quick break. When we come back, I want to dive a bit deeper into what these advancements could mean for our future. Stay with us. And we're back. We've been on quite a journey exploring how light itself is being used to measure things at speeds we never even thought possible.
Yeah, it's truly remarkable how what started with, just trying to measure the extremely fast has now opened up these possibilities to explore the universe's very
It's
beginnings,
amazing.
and maybe even unravel some of its biggest mysteries.
You're talking about things like dark matter and dark energy, right? Like the stuff that supposedly makes up the majority of the universe, but that we can't even see.
Exactly.
Wow.
With terahertz speed ADCs, we might be able to finally, detect those subtle interactions these enigmatic entities have with the visible universe.
So we're not just talking about seeing things faster or smaller here. We're talking about potentially unlocking entirely new realms of physics, things we haven't even imagined yet.
That's the really exciting part. As we push these boundaries of what we can measure, we inevitably stumble upon new unknowns, questions we didn't even know to ask before. It's like we're constantly expanding our horizons, like both literally and figuratively.
It's like that saying, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Except in this case, it's more like the faster we can measure, the more we realize is out there waiting to be discovered.
Yeah, yeah.
This whole deep dive has really driven home the point that sometimes the most groundbreaking discoveries come from the most unexpected places. Who would have thought that trying to track particles in a wind tunnel would lead to tools that might, unlock the secrets of the universe?
It really is a testament to the power of human curiosity and our drive to understand the world around us and, the universe.
Yeah. And maybe that's the biggest takeaway from all of this. It's not just about the incredible technology itself, but about the spirit of exploration and discovery that drives us forward. As long as we keep asking these questions, pushing the limits of what we think is possible, and never lose sight of our sense of wonder, who knows what other incredible breakthroughs await us.
Well said. Yeah, it's a truly exciting time to be alive, to witness these incredible advancements in science and technology. And I have a feeling this is just the beginning of an incredible journey of discovery.
I couldn't agree more. This has been an amazing deep dive, and thank you so much to our expert for guiding us through this fascinating world. And to you, our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop being curious.